Hey guys, what's going on? It's Q&A Thursday, February 22nd, 2019. I lost the date there for a minute. I didn't know what year it was. 2/21/19. It's February 22nd. Man, we're flying through the month, aren't we? I don't know about you guys, but it just seems like this month just started and it's already going to be the 22nd tomorrow. Crazy. What happens to the years? As you get older, it seems like the years go by faster and faster and faster. It's nuts, man. I mean, it gets super, super fast. So, hey, today's Q&A Thursday. Hope you guys are doing awesome out there, man. It's been an awesome day here in San Antonio. We've been super, super busy doing all kinds of stuff, just trying to survive in the world and thrive. I should say we're thriving, not surviving. I hope you guys are doing awesome. If you get a chance, check us out at thepureline.com. We've got a bunch of new stuff out there. If you go to pureline.com/XP Black, you can check out our new fat loss compound that's killing it. It's doing very well. People are losing crazy amounts of body fat on it and are seeing incredible increases in energy. They love it. They're doing great. So check that out. So is everybody doing good? I'm on Instagram Live. I'm on Facebook Live. We've got Q&A Thursday today. We're going to talk about a few things that we've had some of our viewers and listeners and kind of chime in on and ask us about. So we're going to talk about those today. Hope everybody's doing good. All right, man. So, guys, let me start today with a question that we got from Mary, okay? And this is the first question of the day for Q&A Thursday. So let me kind of just lay it out there and see what you guys think. If y'all have any input, definitely put it in the comments. And if you have any questions, put them in the comments as well, and I'll get to them as we move through this day, Q&A Thursday. Question was from Mary, and she said, hey, I'm trying to lose fat. I'm trying to lose body fat, and I just don't know which diet to follow. There's so many: ketogenic, high carb, low carb, paleo, Weight Watchers. I'm confused. Help. And you know what? That's a great question, Mary, because there are a gazillion diets out there, and I always go by the premise of diets don't fail, people fail. And the reason I say that is because there are plenty of diets, and diets work. You're going to lose fat, weight, period, just by dropping your calories lower than your maintenance. So most diets will work for a short period of time anyway. The key, though, here is how long can you maintain a current diet, and why even call it a diet? Why not call it a lifestyle instead? And that's kind of what I've gone to over the past 12 to 15 years in my life. Is using a nutritional lifestyle, because it makes it a lot more easy to follow something that is adaptable to wherever you're at. If you go to a restaurant, you can find something you like to eat. If you go out, you're on vacation, you can still figure out what fits into your diet routine. For me personally, I've always done really well on a very balanced approach of lean protein, moderate carbohydrates, and low fat. Something like a chicken breast or lean meat with maybe a portion of rice or a baked potato at every meal with some vegetables. That works well for me. And when I don't do that, I'll do a meal replacement that pretty much has the same macros. So, it's all about balance, Mary. I mean, that's the most important thing. Find something that works for you, that's moderately clean. Use common sense, because you can pretty much look at food and know whether it's good or bad for you. And follow that program and you'll do fine. But you just got to find something that you can actually do as a lifestyle for a long time, not something that you're just going to do for 4 weeks or 8 weeks or 6 weeks or 12 weeks. You want something that you can eventually build into a long-term plan for the rest of your life. That's the most important thing, not just a small period of time that you're following to lose some weight quickly. So think about that. The other thing to think about also when you're looking for a good diet program or a nutrition program or a lifestyle that I've kind of said is find something that, incorporates balance, number one, but that also incorporates frequent feedings throughout the day so you don't get as hungry. And something that also has flexibility so that you can eat some of the things that you enjoy every once in a while. Something like something where you can have a piece of steak or you can have a small dessert or something and it won't kind of throw you off. So again, it's all about the balance. You've got to find something that really helps you balance yourself. You've got to find, follow a program that is balanced and that you can continue lifelong. That it's not just, hey, I got a diet for 8 weeks and then you completely fall off. It's all about balance, Mary. So I hope that helped you out a little bit. Question 2 we've got from John. And he said, what's the most overlooked component of building muscle, getting stronger, and creating a better physique? That's a good question. And, recently I've been reading a lot more about sleep. I always tend to immediately, and I think a lot of people defer to, hormones or food or training as being the most end all and be all for building muscle and getting bigger and, changing your body. But in reality, sleep is probably one of the most beneficial and most, probably the best ergogenic aid that we have available. And I should probably start by saying if you're not sleeping enough, you're doing yourself a big disservice. Most people tend to not sleep really well. Some of the reasons include, and this actually just happened to me, I noticed that I would get up in the middle of the night, like at 3 in the morning, and I just couldn't fall asleep again. It'd take me hours to fall back asleep. And I hated it. I would wake up tired, lethargic, I'd have a headache. Something was wrong. Something was definitely off. And it went on for months, and I actually went to the doctor and I asked him, I was like, hey man, I'm having a really hard time falling back asleep when I get up to use the restroom or whatever. He said, well, are your shades completely dark? Is the room darked out? I said, yeah, the room's dark. It can't be that. So we couldn't figure it out. And I didn't want to take any sleeping, medications or anything like that. So I kind of just kept monitoring it, and the one thing that I found that initially finally kind of changed everything was my dog. My dog sleeps right by my head, and she's a little overweight, so she snores a bit, and I realized one night, I was like, I wonder if her snoring is keeping me from falling back into like a deep REM sleep. So what I did is I moved her to the end of the bed in the morning, or at night before I went to bed. And, it was amazing. It was like night and day. I slept 8 hours straight. I woke up refreshed. I was like, man, her snoring was keeping me from falling asleep. So little things like that make a big difference. And, sleep is probably the most important thing that we have available to us to build muscle, because essentially you're growing, recovering, and repairing while you're sleeping. On the outside, the stimulation, building muscle as far as, working out and training and all that stuff, that happens when you're awake, but sleeping is the real time where all the hormones are released, growth hormone, etc., and that's where the body repairs and grows and gets bigger. So keep that in mind, and if you're not sleeping enough, your metabolism is being decreased, your blood pressure is increasing. The other thing that not sleeping enough does, and I've noticed this I've noticed this a lot in my own life, is it increases the hunger hormone, ghrelin, I should call it, ghrelin. Basically, that's the hormone that makes you want to eat. And I notice when I don't sleep 6 to 8 hours a night, I wake up and I'm just kind of like, have the munchies throughout the day. I'm hungry, I just really want to eat stuff that's not good. So that also affects your body composition. So keep that in mind. 8 to 9 hours is best, 10 if possible. And make sure, the room's real dark. If you have a dog like I did, put it at the bottom. Keep your room quiet. And then, this is the toughest part of this. Try not to look at your phone or tablet 2 hours before you go to bed. For the longest time, I basically went to bed with my iPad on, and essentially I just fall asleep and my iPad would be next to me when I woke up. And, for some reason, it just kept my mind going at night, and it just wasn't sound sleep. So now what I do is I take a little bit of time to kind of, read a little bit in a real book, nothing with lights, write, and then, sometimes just meditate for a little bit, just for about 5 or 10 minutes, and just kind of let the day slip away. And that helps me a lot, and I'm able to actually sleep much better. Also, it's a good time to mention this as well. We have a product called Remrex. On our website, thepureline.com, and just put in the search little thingy there, REM-RX. Remrex is actually a sleep aid that you can take before you go to sleep. It's natural. We'll put it in the comments, but it's got valerian root. It's got some basic herbs like zinc and magnesium, and some other. I think it's got a little melatonin in there that just helps you sleep naturally. So that's one of the other things you can add in there. So, John, I hope that helps you out. But in my opinion, that's one of the biggest things that people do not look at when they're trying to build muscle and get a little bigger and change their body is the quality of their sleep. Sleep is an ergogenic aid. It's extremely, extremely important. So keep that in mind. All right, next we got Blake. And Blake says, hey, man, I try to eat a balanced diet with protein, carbs, and vegetables, but I find it hard to digest some of the carbohydrates, some of the food, especially carbohydrates, potatoes, oatmeal, things like this. So here's the thing: when you're actually, trying to, and I got a question. I'll answer that in a little bit. It's really interesting. But here's the thing: when it comes to food intake and digestion, what I've noticed is that, and this is something that a lot of people don't know about, but when you take a potato or rice or whatever and you leave it cooked and then you just put it in the refrigerator, what happens is it builds up a resistant starch into that food. So it makes it a lot harder to digest when you warm it up versus if you were to eat it just, out of the oven or you made it, right then and there. A lot of people don't realize that, they make food in advance, especially potatoes, especially your carbs, and they refrigerate them. And that makes the digestion harder once you do warm that up. So think about that and see if you can instead replace that with natural rice, stuff that you cook right away. That'll help you out a lot. The other thing is just, digestion in itself is a process that requires water and enzymes. If you don't have the right enzymes, you're not going to digest your food as well. And I notice a lot of people when they start their programs are eating 4, 5, 6 meals a day. They're like, dude, this is so much food, man. It's just like, it's too much. I'm stuffed all the time. I'm eating and I'm still full from 3 hours ago. That'll go away. It'll eventually go away within probably 2 to 3 weeks, even sooner in most people. But what happens is your body's just not used to eating that amount of food, and you're retraining your digestion to work again. Especially guys who haven't done it for 6, 8, 10, 12 years, and now all of a sudden they're eating more frequently. What you're going to realize is that within probably 5 to 7 days, or a week or two, you're going to be so hungry every 3 hours. And when you get that, when you start to notice that, you're like, dude, it's been 3 hours since I ate and I'm starving. That means your metabolic rate is working. That means your digestion is working. That's the way things are supposed to work in your body, and you've retrained it. Now your metabolism is more effective. You're burning fat. You're building muscle. So that's kind of the way that works. As far as foods that are hard to digest, stick to the ones that are easy to digest in the beginning when you start. White rice is very easy. Cream of rice, egg whites, all of those are very digestible. A lot of guys like to use egg whites at night because they don't want to go to bed heavy. I'm the opposite. I prefer to have something like red meat before bed or like 8 or 9 o'clock so that I'm not hungry when I go to bed, because if I am, then I'm going to eat, whatever cookies I find in the, pantry. So keep that in mind. And then you can also use digestive enzymes. We have a product called Digestion that will help you a lot. We'll put that in the comments. You can check that out. I also use papaya enzyme. I buy them at the grocery store. That helps me tremendously. And, if you do those few things, you should notice a big difference. Now, last question, Leanne. I've been taking XP Black, and I've noticed I sweat a lot more than normal. Why is that? What should I be doing, if anything, about that? That's completely normal, Leanne. Essentially, what that is the GBB. That's the new compound in there, gamma butyrobiotine. It took me a long time to learn how to say that. What it is an L-carnitine. It's an advanced form of L-carnitine that helps take fat from throughout your body and shuttle it into the muscle, and allows you to burn that as energy when you're training or when you're working out. The thing about that is, for some weird reason, we don't know why, that increases perspiration and you tend to sweat more. Nothing you have to do about that. Just make sure you're drinking plenty of water. Make sure you're still using minerals like salt on your food. Salt has gotten a lot of bad press, but get Himalayan sea salt and use that on all your food. It's actually very good for you, especially guys trying to build muscle, lose body fat. Do not neglect sodium. You need it. Make sure you're getting calcium and magnesium. If you're not taking an electrolyte, take that, because you are losing a lot more electrolytes through your sweating, etc. So nothing wrong with the GBB or the extra sweating you're experiencing. It's completely normal, and hopefully you're losing a lot of body fat. Now, we had a question, and I saw a lot of people on there that I knew. Chris, hey buddy, that's my cuz, and then Eddie. Good to see you guys. Freddie Joe had a question. Do you think there is a correlation between pre-workouts and feeling sluggish at the gym? I tried doing the tip you have us and switched up the order of my workouts, but I'm still feeling out of place. It's a good question. 9 times out of 10, Freddie, when somebody is not, doesn't have energy, or they feel a little bit sluggish in the gym, it all relates back to their diet and the few days before that training session. What I would probably recommend that you do is write down what you're eating for about 3 or 4 days and really journal it and look at it. A lot of times we think we're eating enough, we think we're eating the right foods, but we're really not. And when we see it on paper and we're like, damn, dude, I thought I was doing well, but I'm really not doing well, we fix that. And pretty much all of that, when you're not eating right, when you're not getting frequent meals throughout the day and you're not feeding your body correctly and maintaining consistent blood sugar levels, you're going to feel it in the gym. You're going to feel tired. You're going to feel worn out. You're not going to have motivation. You're going to feel sluggish. And that should be the first thing you address. Pre-workouts are okay. They're great, for that little extra kick in the gym, but they shouldn't be something you use all the time. In fact, I would really recommend you taper back and use them only on the days that you have a really hard body part to train, like legs or back or something that requires a little bit more caffeine to get through. But you shouldn't be reliant on that, especially if your diet is in check and you are getting frequent meals throughout the day. You should be fine. You should be okay. Make sure your water intake is good. Make sure your sleep is good, that we talked about, as that's really important as well. And aside from that, every once in a while, your body just needs a break. So if you're feeling a little sluggish and it's continuing 2-3 days and you're just like, man, I just don't have it, take a few days off. Take 4 or 5 days, refeed your body, rehydrate, rest up, and then get back in and start slowly and start building back into your routine. So I think that would help you out a little bit. Cool. All right, we have any questions on Facebook? We're good? All right. So guys, that was it for our Q&A Thursday, February 21st, 2019. Remember to go to pureline.com. Check us out. We've got a lot of good info on there. Plus, we've got some great products. Our XP2G Black is doing awesome. Check that out if you need a good fat loss compound to help burn a little extra body fat. You guys want to increase testosterone levels, check out our muscle enhancement stacks. Those are awesome for you too. So we will see you back here tomorrow, 5:30. Hope you guys are doing really well wherever you're at. And we will talk to you then. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. We'll see y'all soon. Bye.